Yeah,
Okay.
so we went through how to draft the resume. We yesterday we went over how to look for the cybersecurity job, and so today, let's say you finally got the interview, they called you up, and now you're going for the interview. What do you do, right? So Timmy, with your permission, I'd say let's work directly with you, right? In your case, and see how we can pull this off. What do you think? You up for it?
Yes, I'm up for it. I'm up for
Okay.
whatever would land me that job.
Awesome, awesome. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. All right. So, and Lucy's one of my mentees. She interned with us a while back, and she's now working, on a regular full time capacity. And so, Lucy now had a chance. So, Lucy, I want to ask you, what is the main part of preparing for an interview? I think I know what you're gonna say.
It's researching the company, getting ready, and making sure you know your stuff.
That is very true. That is very true. Now, as far as technique go, the elevator speech is a big one, right? To me, and everything Lucy said is definitely important, right? They're all maybe number one, right? Um, but getting your elevator speech is the most valuable because that is the first thing they're gonna hear you say. And the first thing you hear a stranger say is usually the impression that you kind of hold on to, right? Imagine you just meet somebody, you meet them in a room, and all of a sudden they're just rude and nasty with you, right? They could be nice for the next 5 days. You're still gonna remember, oh man, this person has a habit of being rude and nasty. Does that make sense to me?
Yes, it does.
So, that first impression is very, very important. So you've got to essentially have your elevator speech. And your elevator speech is a 30-second spill about who are you, what do you do, and what value do you bring to the company, right? So again, you want to start with who you are. You want to talk about what it is that you do and how you've done it. You want to explain the results of your work that makes you unique in your situation, and you want to write it down. You want to write it down onto something, and you want to practice that crap out of it up to the point where it becomes natural, up to the point where it becomes something that you can, almost like a musician, like a songwriter or a rapper that just hit those punchlines, like you freestyle it, like up to the point where you can just mix this around a bit and make it your own. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
When you can do that, trust me, it'll make a huge impact on you being picked up by a company. Right? So the first question I asked you, Timmy, before we started recording, was, tell me about yourself. Right?
Right,
That's
right.
usually what you hear when you go for a job interview. Okay, that's
Yeah.
usually, what people say. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Right? What do you do? Right? And that's when you have your opportunity. So Timmy, I'm gonna put you on the spot right now. Let's go. I'm your interviewer. I've got this $5 billion an hour job for you, but I need to know if you're the right person for the job. Tell me about yourself. What would you say?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this opportunity to interview with you. Like you said, my name is Timmy Apiantede. A cybersecurity enthusiast. I am passionate to improve companies' interests. So I've been in the cybersecurity field for some time now. My current job, I do the RMF, the Risk Management Framework, and recently I've had the opportunity to help implement the risk management framework in my company. For example, we've been going through the process of categorizing the system, and also we have gone through the process of selecting controls and implementing the statement. So right now we're at the point where we are about to assess the controls that have been selected. So I work as an internal assessor in my company. What that means is that before an external assessor comes in, I try to check to be sure that we're good. So the external assessor will be able to check the things that the security controls that have been implemented, and hopefully we can pass the assessor and get up to the point of authorization. Then we can get the authorization to operate, and afterwards start monitoring. So that's where we are now. We've been very busy with that. Aside from that, I give a lot of attention to details. I like to learn, and I am very sure that when I'm given the opportunity to come on board, I definitely will bring a lot to the table.
Timmy, that was impressive, man. That was impressive. Have you been practicing?
Well, I have been practicing. Like I told you, I've been learning a lot from your platform. I've been following you very closely. So I've been practicing. I'm hoping I can be able to land the job soon.
Yeah, this is good. This is good. I like your confidence. I like you were able to articulate yourself. It didn't sound like you were reading, right? And it came off pretty genuine, right? So I like it. And you were able to show value. You were being specific as well. This is going to be challenging for me on how to improve upon this, but I think I can find ways to poke holes, but trust me, it will be being nitpicky here, because I think this is good enough for an introductory level for an ISSO or security control assessor job, right? So just reading this, right? Thank you very much. And I'll try to transcribe as you were speaking, so I can audit this later. Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. My name is Timmy. I'm a cybersecurity enthusiast. I'm passionate to improve company interest. I've been in the cybersecurity field for some time now. My current job I do is RMF, risk management framework. Have helped my company. We have gone through the process of security categorization, selected controls, implement the statements. I work as an internal assessor. That means before an external assessor come in, I make sure we're good, so the control assessment will have good results. So these are great. You've shown sort of the things that you've done. You've shown, and you also show that you have good, even though you've never been an SCA, you have intimate knowledge of helping the assessor. So that shows your versatility. All right, so let's start from the beginning. Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. I like that. It's always good. It's always good to kind of acknowledge them and thank them. So I think that's a great way to kind of kick things off. Of course, if you already said it, don't say it again, right? Because now they're like, oh, this is a script. He's already thanked us and appreciate the opportunity. So you want to be natural enough to be able to know when to say this and when not to say it. All right. I'm a cybersecurity enthusiast, right? So this is me just thinking of your statement, which again is good enough, but I'm gonna change some words around, right? Rather than enthusiast, I'm a cybersecurity professional. And anybody listen to this, don't take this. This is Timmy's statement, so don't use this statement. Otherwise, there'll be many people with this statement. So create your own and follow the pattern, right? I'm a cybersecurity professional that specialize in the NIST risk management framework, right? I am passionate to improve company interest. So I'm going to say, you know what? I'm not really. It's good to say yes. I love helping the company. I mean, it's kind of feel like, well, yeah, we get that, right? We want to make sure. I mean, if you don't, we're gonna fire you. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, who are you? Let's get to the nitty-gritty of what you do. I've been in the cybersecurity field for some time now. My current job, yeah, if your time is maybe like 3 or less, I would say no. For some time now, it sounds great. Anything more, like 6 or more, I would say, yeah, put that there because it shows your longevity in the field. In my current role, I do RMF, right? I don't know if he exactly said this, right? But that's kind of like, I do RMF. What does that mean? In my current role, I am responsible for maybe not insuring. Nobody really say insure. People write insure, but nobody says insure. So for making sure my company systems receive their ATO memo on time, on schedule, right? So it's kind of like, ATO memo is really what you want to get to. Having helped my company, okay. Now, I'll probably say something like, you're kind of saying secure categorization, select controls, implement the statements. I like the fact that you're listing out the steps. That's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just gonna kind of cut it short. This includes all of the risk management steps. 1.6, right? I'm gonna put it short because I don't want them to seem like, because that's probably gonna be a question for later. What are the steps, right? I'm just kind of like, hey, this is what I do. We'll go through all the steps. I get them the memo. I work as in addition to being an ISSO, right? Because that part kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, wait a minute. You're telling me that you are helping them get their ATO, right? Working them through all the secure categorization, all of that, and then you're talking about being an internal assessor. Well, you can't be both, right? But then you explain what that meant, right? So then I was able to say, oh, okay, I get it now. He does that as well on the side while being an ISSO, right? So maybe I probably want to clarify that a little bit. In addition to being an ISSO, I also participate as an internal assessor. So my goal, you probably want to, make a little more technical terms there. My goal is to make sure we minimize, I'm guessing minimize the amount of poem value to your organization. Okay, so it's just, I don't know, Timmy, I feel like I was maybe a little too quiet there, but it's just my head just kind of thinking, how do I improve this statement? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
how do I try to make this better based on what I think the interviewer will want to hear, right? So, being a little bit more specific, again, very good off the bat. So that it was a little bit difficult for me to try to improve upon this. But I think this is kind of like a version 2 of your original statement, right?
Yes.
Another one more, if I may ask, Timmy, do you have technical skills?
Yes, I do.
Okay, great. Well, can you tell me what type of tools are you pretty well versed in?
So I'm very comfortable using the Tenable Nessers.
Okay. So you do vulnerability scanning?
Vulnerability scan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other tools that you do well?
Yes, I use Splunk also.
Okay.
With
audit?
Yes.
Okay. Good. Let's talk about that. And the reason why we want to talk about that, and you'll see if you go back to the recording of drafting your resume and how to apply for jobs. Being a technical ISSO is always a great thing, right? Nobody wants someone that just knows documents and theories. Being technical is also a very good quality to have. So I always tell people, if you have the technical skills, mention that in your elevator speech as well, because it just adds value to who you are, right? Doing these things like Splunk and Nessus, those are things that are part of your continuous monitoring activities. And these are things that if you're not doing them properly, it will create poems, right? It'll create security vulnerabilities, which your assessor would detect and they will add it in your poem report. And if they already have people doing it, great. But guess what? You've got a unicorn that can do both, right? So that just adds the value to it. All right. So I think we have a decent interview elevator speech. What do you think, Timmy?
Yes, I think so too.
Awesome.
This looks good.
Awesome. So let's try it, man. Let's try it out. And action. Take it from the top. And let's hear it. Tell me about yourself.
Thank you for this opportunity to be with you. I really appreciate it. My name is Timmy. I'm a cybersecurity professional that specializes in NIST risk management framework. I've been in cybersecurity field for the past 6 years. In my current role, in my job, I work to help with, I'm sorry. can I shoot it?
Yeah, let's try again. Let's try again.
Can I try? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to interview with you. I appreciate it. My name is Timmy. I'm a cybersecurity professional that specializes in NIST risk management framework. I've been in cybersecurity field for the past 5 years. In my current role in my job, I help my company to get their ATO, that's the authorization to operate memo on schedule. And these include implementing the 6 risk management framework steps. In addition to be an ISSO, I also participate as an internal assessor. So what that means is that before the external assessor comes to formally assess the system, I try to make sure that we're fit and good for the audits. My goal is to make sure that we minimize the amount of poem that we would need to get so as to follow up on the security controls that have been implemented, and at the end, be able to succeed in passing through the external assessor. Because I am also technical, I'm able to use tools such as Nessus and Splunk. I'm able to conduct vulnerability scan and system audits. These are things that would help to minimize the amount of vulnerabilities on our POEM reports. I'm very attentive to details, and also if I'm able to get this job opportunity with you, I'm very confident that I will bring value to the company.
Man, Timmy, you got the job, man. You got the job. If I had a position, I would hire you right now. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was your first time. I mean, we just updated this and you read it with such, I mean, there's a few, I think you can probably hear it, right? There's a few clicks there that needs to be a little bit more natural, and that will come over time with practice, right? It'll come over time with practice. And you know, you can, and I like your versatility. Like you didn't let things like my typo trip you up. You know what I mean? So that's good, man. That's good. But again, what you had from the start, you kind of came polished already, right? You know what you're talking about. You know what to do. So you came polished already into this. And I think this is make it a little bit shinier. So I think if you keep practicing using this as your framework, I think you'll be there, man. I think it'll be of value for you.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. It's been a privilege to work with you.
Yeah. So guys, just a quick recap. You know, I got to talking to Timothy. He knows a good amount about security, being an ISSO, and he gave me a spiel, right? This is the elevator speech, right? This is the 30, we call it the elevator speech because it's your first impression. Your first impression is very important when you come to a job interview, right? It's big. So you need to have a good elevator speech. You need to write it out and you need to practice it. You need to practice it when you brush. I tell people when you brush your teeth. Hi, my name is Bob Joe. You know, I am this and that, whatever. Practice the crap out of your elevator speech. Make sure it's natural. Make sure it feels natural. Make sure it's something that you can speak to, right? So, man, Timmy did an amazing job with that. And so, but we do have to move on, right? It's 12:34. Just doing a time check. I spent a good amount of time on this elevator speech because, again, it's your intro, man, right? That's how you're coming out the gate. That is the impression that you're making. So. I don't know when everybody dialed in, but this is recorded, so you can always rewind back and kind of see what the technique was behind that. Okay. All right. So with that said, I'd like to stop sharing my screen for a second, and I'd like to, just have a good chat with you guys in terms of different types of interview questions, because after your elevator speech comes more questions, right? So do I have any brave souls out there that are willing to actually come on camera with me? I'm going to pretend to be the interviewer and you will be the interviewee. Who's up for it?
Hey, my name is Dominic. I can do it.
All right. So Dominique, man, let's see you, man. Get on camera. Let's do this. All right, Dominique. Let's do let's see how many mock interviews we can run through today. So Dominique,
Okay.
if you don't mind, actually, let's just tell me about yourself. Let's start with that.
Awesome.
Your elevator
Okay, so
speech.
my name is Dominic. The past 3 years, I've been working as a security analyst. Currently, the project I support, I work on forms. I manage forms and also vulnerability assessments. So basically, I do know about the 6 steps. Where we categorize the system. We select our security controls. We implement them. We bring in an assessor to do the assessment. Then we take our package to the authorizing official to get an ATO. And once we get if the risk is low enough, we get an ATO. If not, there'll be a DATO. So assuming that we get an ATO, then we go into continuous monitoring. So a big part of my job is basically in the continuous monitoring phase, where I work with assist admins to basically do the patching, create trouble tickets for milestones and poems, so we can get those things fixed. Prior to that, I was also doing something similar. Did a little bit of assessor work, where I was basically doing assessments on various systems. I helped. I was involved in doing kickoff meetings and basically sharing information about the SAP security assessment plan with the group, and telling them how the roadmap for the assessments, and
Okay.
also collecting artifacts and and things of that nature.
Awesome, man. That was good. That was really good, Dominique. I think you have your elevator speech going very well. Like you definitely inspire some confidence, and I like your flow, right?
Okay.
If I may ask you, if you don't mind me getting on your business, have you been having issues with interviewing for job
No,
positions?
no. Oh no, I'm actually in the field already. So yeah.
Okay, I can tell. I can tell. You got it. You got it.
You're right.
Right. You definitely got it, bro. And that's why I was like, huh? Okay, I'll be surprised if that intro doesn't really make you competitive. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right.
that is the type of intro that you want. This kind that Timmy also gave. That is the one that you want. I do know there might be some shy people out there that kind of like, ooh, that probably are not quite there yet, right? But again, I want to stress it: practice, practice, practice. Just like you practice learning your tools, practice speaking, because people are not mind readers. They don't know how good you are, right? And Dominic, you definitely just showed me how good you are, right? I would definitely put you in charge of my systems and manage the form reports for sure. Well, so let's we're not talking about an elevator speech. I'm going to ask you a few questions. One of the first questions that I'm going to ask you is, so tell me about I know you kind of mentioned on the risk management framework steps. I think you kind of went up to step 3. Can you explain to us what all the steps are?
Yeah, sure. So basically, there's a prepare step. That's some people call that the step 0 because it just came out about a year ago. But mainly, that's where you get your roles and responsibilities, risk assessments, stuff like that. But the main step, it starts with a categorize step, where you basically describe the system. You do a system registration, and you categorize the system, looking at the data that live on the system. So the information types, using FIPS 199 and 860. And as part of that, you also have to do your boundary drawings. So basically, you're covering the very first part of what an SSP looks like within that step. And so what you come out with that is that you come out with a high watermark, whether the system is a low, moderate, or a high system. Once you arrive at that, and then you take that information and move on to step 2, where you select the security control. So when you select the security controls, basically you do that out of NIST 853. You select the controls and you tailor the controls according to your environment. So essentially, if your system doesn't need certain controls out of the baseline, then you don't need to use it, and you just have to explain why that you didn't need it in the SSP. Once that's done and selected, then the next thing is that we move on to the implementation phase, where we actually begin to implement the stuff. So you're implementing the security controls, you're working with various people, sysadmins, document writers, you know, for a lot of your management controls, you know, like a policy types, you know. So once that's going on, then you're writing as the ISSO, you're getting implementation statements into the SSP of how a certain control is being implemented. And so along with that will also come artifacts. You need to collect artifacts that, you know, that when you move on to step 4 to assess, you would use that as proof to some of the implementation statements that you have in the SSP.
Hey, awesome, man. Dude, you're on point. You can get off the camera now. You're good. You don't need it. You don't need this webinar. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. No, this is good. I hope this has been helpful, man. We got it. Dominique, we got to have. I feel like I want to do more of these, and I feel like I want to have you on here as well, and Timmy, because you guys are in good shape. And not to put Timmy's business out there, but Timmy, you're so close to that line, man. Just keep practicing. I feel like you're doing what you need to do. You just need to be in the right place. It sounds like you have the right preparation. You just need the right opportunity.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you bet, man. Dominique, I'm gonna see if I can throw a curveball at you here. Tell me about security control CP9.
CP9, contingency planning 9. Is it CP test, if I'm not mistaken?
I have no idea. I'm just asking you. It's a trick question. It's a trick question.
I don't remember the.
Yeah.
I don't remember that. I don't remember specifically that off the top of my head, but I've dealt a lot with CPs. I've helped to put together a whole plan, you know, ICP document, and then also CPTPR, you know, which is the contingency plan testing document, you know. So sometimes I may not necessarily remember a certain number, you know, and what it goes with, but the biggest part of CP is basically putting together your plan and making sure there's a test procedure in place, and you creating those documents and submitting them and getting them approved. So awesome. I'm sure it's somewhere in there, but I just don't remember the exact name.
You're close. It's information system backup.
Got it. Okay.
But here's the thing, though, Dominic. That was a totally trick question. Here's what I've heard that's going out there. That some of our fellow senior ISSOs are doing. People will come to a job interview and they're going to ask them some random security control number.
Okay.
Guys, I've been doing this for a while. Dominique obviously sounds credible and he sounds very knowledgeable. Nobody's got time to memorize these damn numbers, right? But I've heard, mentees have come back to me and say, they asked me about this specific security control number and they expect me to know it. And they expect me to know the implementation statement for it without even giving me the control requirements. I think it's ludicrous. And I think Dominique's response right now was perfect. Right? Joy said, pretty sure no one will ask for. Oh, yes, they have. I've had people, unless people are reporting back to me with not telling me the truth, but people have gone to job interviews, Joy, and they have they've asked them about specific controls. And I'll tell you guys right now, if you're in a job interview, answer it just like Dominique just answered. I don't spend the time to memorize security control requirements. However, he just told you guys about contingency plan and how it needs to be tested and things of that nature. He told you what he knew about it, right? So if you get hit with a question and you're like, dang, I don't know where that is going and I don't quite know what they're asking for, compensate with what you do know. So Dominique, man, you're on point. I can see why you're definitely working. Couldn't even throw the curveball at you. But guys, don't let that trip you up. One thing that I would encourage you to ask them is, all right, if you want to give me the control requirement, I'll be more than happy to walk you through a scenario where I can draft the implementation statements. And I'm just kind of take a quick pause there, guys. I'm throwing out a lot of words, a lot of technical words. If you're not someone that understands the things that I'm saying right now, obviously you need a little bit of training. And I suggest you go to pjcourses.com, get on the FISMA, learn the FISMA class, learn the FISMA course, learn the FISMA course and learn the technique and all of that before you get to the interview portion, right? And then come back to this video and kind of, take the notes that you need to take. We also have in July, we're going to be starting our career academy, right? So July, we're going to throw you in the classroom. August, you're going to learn how to become an assessor. August through November through, September through November, we have what we call the practicals, where you're either going to support our system or support a customer system. Real experience you're going to put on your resume, and we're going to help you with this job coach and everything that we've done the last 3 days, one-on-one. one, that type of deal. So it's a really good program. So, you know, get your skills up in case I'm throwing out a lot of words. But I'm going to keep talking technical terms because I'm going to assume that at this point, you know, it should make sense for you to interview for the job position. But back to what I was saying, though, yeah, you're going to get those questions that might throw you off. They might ask you something technical, like tell me about this tool or that tool. Well, I don't know this tool, right? I might not know CrowdStrike, right? But hey, I play with Wireshark, right? I've done packet analysis with Wireshark, and I've learned and I've gotten this out of that, right? So I always try to find ways to bounce back, right? And sometimes you might get stuck. You might get stuck. I remember I was interviewing for the Obamacare job. Okay, I was in that job interview. I don't know if James Saunders is ever going to see this, but he's probably going to laugh. But I was in the interview with his mentor, and the guy asked me, he said, "What is port? Which port is HTTP go on?" Right now, that's a very simple question. It's port 80, right? It's HTTP is what we use in our web browser. Right. And so I sat in front of him, and this was for a SOC job. And I sat in front of him, and my mind went blank. And I was like, HTTP. And I looked at it, I was like, I know this. Right. And you just see his eyes just kind of like start drooping down, like, no. And I was like, wait a minute, SSH 22, Telnet 23. You know, I was like, HTTPS 443. I just don't know that one right now. Right. And he believed it. You know what I mean? So rather than giving up on your job interview, guys, maintain your posture, maintain your confidence. Right. Believe that you deserve the job. And don't let it throw you off. You're not out till they tell you no, or they don't return your call, which sometimes people do, which is kind of rude. But anyways, stay in the game until you feel like you're out of the game. I want to give maybe some other people an opportunity. Thank you so much, Dominique, for getting on this. Does anyone else want to come on camera and have me throw some questions at them?
Mr. Paul.
Hey, Richard.
Mr. Paul.
Hi.
Hey. How are you?
Doing good. Is this Richard?
I just want to make a quick statement. This is the first time being here. I'm new to cybersecurity. I don't have no experience. I'm not getting into that. So I don't know how far you've done webinar on this. This is my first time, so I don't know. So can you help us create something like for the novice like us going into with no experience? Let's say I just came from your risk management framework classes. I'm trying to go into cybersecurity. How, as a novice, how should I frame my resume with no experience?
With no experience, let me ask you this. I get the fact that you don't have the experience, but do you have the knowledge? Have you trained? Did you understood anything about the tools and the application or the technique, the stuff that you know? Have you learned anything about cybersecurity?
That's my first training I had. I've not learned nothing about cybersecurity. I just got it from, let's say, the training.
Okay.
And even I'm not familiar with the tools. They just taught me about the tools, but I've not hands-on practice it.
Okay. Now I totally get it. Thanks for that breakdown. So, Richard, I don't know if this is necessarily what you want to hear, but you've got to get your skill set up to some certain level where you have confidence, where you have some confidence in what to do. You know, not to, I mean, I'm shameless self-promoter, but one thing that we do with PJ courses is we cater to beginners like yourself. So I'm just going to do a quick detour here and maybe show you what the courses that you need to take, and then we'll get back to the interviewing. Can you see my screen? I think you can. All right. So there's really two options.
Yes, please.
Awesome. There's really two options here, right? There's the one-on-one. If you want that customized one-on-one mentorship where we walk you through the entire process, right? We have that. However, if you're just looking for that on-demand learning, these are $10 a month, right? I'm gonna mute you for a second. You have some background noise. So our courses are $10 a month. Right. And what you need to do, like if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to be like Dominique, right? You're trying to be able to spit it just like, you know, fast and know what you're doing and what you're saying, but you want to train yourself because, you know, you just don't have the funds for the one-on-one customized experience. Then what you need to do is go to Career Development, Security Analyst, FISMA Compliance, right? Go there. Okay. When you go there, you're going to see 3 courses: fundamentals of IT, finish that; FISMA compliance, finish that; secure compliance capstone, finish that. Okay. When you can go through all these 3, I'm pretty confident that you will be able to have the confidence that you need, right, to be able to go to a job interview and talk with confidence and talk fluently. Okay. So yeah, just go through the career developments, FISMA compliance, security analyst, career development bundle course. It's $10 a month, and it might be misleading, but it's $10 a month for everything, right? You just pay $10 a month, you enroll. If you goal yourself to get an 80% in all your quizzes, right? On an average, watch the video once for full understanding. Watch the video again, take notes, right, and then do the quizzes without going back to the video. And this is really the path and the way to go, in my honest opinion. There are other sources out there as well. Udemy, LinkedIn. There's plenty of courses out there. I can speak for the ones that we created. We created exactly for what you're saying. I need to be able to be competitive for a job. So what do I need to do? And this is how you can do it independently. I see somebody named Paul out there. They have their hand up. Hi, Paul.
Hi, Paul. How are you?
Doing well. Are you my
Okay.
doppelganger?
I know, right? It's about time. So, I definitely agree with you. The PJ courses for $10. I mean, it's ridiculous, and I mean that in a good way, because
Yeah.
I have messed around with almost everything in there on a weekly basis. I try to just
Oh, thank you, man. I
my
appreciate
head.
that.
Oh, trust me. I mean, the guy that recommended the course to me, he's an ISO right now. And when he mentioned it, I'm like, okay, another course. Let's go check it out. For $10, I think it's very, very good. Especially, the walkthroughs of all the different documents you need to,
Yeah.
process.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. I so much appreciate the feedback. That's people like yourself who we make it for. I'm a big fan of empowering people and helping people empower themselves. So yeah, man, I'm glad you're getting some value out of that for sure.
With that said, my concern is still nowadays, and I think it's because cybersecurity has gotten so competitive. When you go for an interview, you have people ask you a lot of technical questions. And with being in an FCA, you don't have too many resources out there for you to kind of educate yourself with, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
As a SOC analyst, you probably have a whole lot of stuff you can do out there to really help you and get you ready. If you go out there, you don't see too many interview preps, materials. You really don't even know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something you guys are looking into to kind of, help this community? And when I say this community, I mean, folks are trying to be like security control assessors like myself,
Mm-hmm.
with the technical side of things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where I don't have to sit down and know the whole 7 domains in CISSP and know the whole security clause. Just some of the basic stuff that I can master.
Let me ask you this.
Kind of go in.
Let me ask you this, Paul. Have you gone through the security engineering course?
No.
Okay. So this is what I will recommend. Okay. So to answer your question, right? I could make something for a security analyst. I'm sorry, for security control assessor, and say, okay, these are the technical things that you need to learn for your, that's related to these security controls. But really the best and true way is to sort of take a detour to a SOC world. Okay. And what I mean is, and we have, if you look at a career development SOC analyst, and it needs a little bit more development, but we're getting there. Do the cybersecurity lab preparation, prepare your own lab and your own machine. Do the security engineering coursework, and then do the security engineering capstone. Okay. If you can run through this will kind of put you in a mindset of what a security engineer does. Okay. And I'm actually we're working on having a cloud security engineering career track as well. So you can learn not only security engineering, but also cloud work. right? Sorry, guys. My daughter's in track, so I'm not coming from the hospital. She's in track, so I have to go back to the track meet later. This is how I get in without paying $5 again. So yeah, I'm cheap like that. But sorry, I'm digressing. Paul, go through this. I would love for you to go through this and then come back and then let's talk, right? Because you can use this knowledge to add that technical lingo that you're looking for. Because you're absolutely right. A lot of people don't think they need to be technical. They just want to learn FISMA, RMF, this 800, this 800, that. You should learn. If you guys were here earlier, you would have heard Timmy talk about vulnerability scanning. He knows Nessus, he knows Splunk enough to speak about those things, right? And when you get to those situations where, again, you're not going to learn every single tool. Neo in the Matrix does not exist. You're not going to learn every single tool there is out there to know. Learn 2 of them very well, extremely well, right? Be familiar with 3 of them. Once you have that under your belt, nobody can tell you nothing. I can almost guarantee that, right? And yes, you're gonna run into questions. I could run into questions today. Someone to ask me, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I look at it with a straight face. I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, right? And after you learn enough, it's like everything else is just, just applying it to that specific. Does that make sense, Paul? Does that help?
To a good extent, yes. And like I said, it's another tool you put in my tool shed right now that I can go back and look at. After looking at our course, reevaluate my readiness, and we'll take it from there. That's what we can do. You're not going to answer all the questions, but again, I just know from talking to people, different forums, and just doing my research online that you don't have too much stuff out there. Everyone can go in and assess all the -1 controls, but we still remember that we do have technical controls. And if I'm not technical, how do I assess a technical control?
Right, exactly. And you become technical by learning some tools. You just have to learn some tools and apply it to real life. I think Dominique has something to say. What's going on, Dominique?
Yes, sir. Hey, Paul, I just wanted to add to the newbies, that what you got to realize is also that I've come across a lot of people who are not necessarily technical, but they studied the RMF and they've learned the process and they've learned it well, and they practice and they can speak to it, right? In these job interviews, what you're trying to do is that nobody is going to be able to ascertain your true knowledge in a matter of 30 to 45 minutes, right? But what you are looking to do in that interview is you are looking to impress, okay? I tell people that a lot of your learning will come on the job. A lot of your learning will come to the job. So learn enough, learn about your ports and protocols, learn about, learn what a Splunk does or what, a Nessus vulnerability scanner does, learn what a target is, that's just an IP address or a list of IP addresses, learn about these small things that helps you to get your foot in the door, right? I looked at Paul's courses, great courses, for $10, that's a steal, man, but I look at it for me more as when you're on a job and you're working every day, the things that Paul share are the things that you need for your everyday things on the job, right? So for me, for you newbies, learn your spiel, learn to talk, because you only have 30 minutes or so to impress somebody in an interview. I know people that didn't have no experience that just, they learned a bunch of stuff in their head and they were able to talk it during the interview. Now, these jobs, a lot of these jobs, especially in the government, once you get hired, nobody's going to throw a project at you the first day. They give you a chance to learn. I've been on certain jobs where I didn't even get my access, for like 2 months. So all that while you sit there and you're listening and you're talking to people and you're soaking information in. So please, your ability to intelligently explain concepts is really, really important. That's what gets your foot in the door. So that's just what I wanted to say.
Yes, thank you so much, Dominique. Yes, concept, not memorization, right? And I think we've definitely imitated that with, and I think Dominique did an awesome job. If you guys missed it, go back to the recording. I threw a question at him where I was expecting him. He thought I was expecting him to memorize something, and he just maneuvered it with concept learning and impressing with his knowledge of that subject area rather than just kind of quit it. I see a lot of hands are up. People definitely have something to say. So let's keep it going, guys. I think I saw Good Luck's hand first, and then Timmy, I'm gonna come to you after that. Yes, Good Luck.
Hey, hi, Paul. How you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Hi, everyone, and thanks for this wonderful platform for we to share some knowledge about this stuff. For me, Paul, I've been working in the IT field as a middleware support for the past 3 years, and cybersecurity has always been my major field. I would like to, start with. I've been going, I've been working on the trainings on your platform. I mean, on your website. I'll be going through the videos, putting those down and everything. But my question is, Paul, how do I integrate being a security analyst in my resume? For the past 3 years, just like I said, I've been working as a middleware support. So how do I able to, how can I do that? Will I just claim it on my resume? I've been working as an ISSO for the past 3 years or 4 years. I don't know. So can you just help me with that?
Yeah. I really, I wish you were here yesterday when because this is a 3-part series, guys, by the way, for those that are just dialing in. On Friday, we went over how to draft a resume. We actually drafted a resume live. Yesterday, we talked about how to apply for jobs. And today we're focused on how to interview for the jobs. So answer your question, Good Luck. If I may ask first, this middleware application that you work on, what is it? Can you give me a little bit more? What's the OS? What is the system? What is it exactly?
Yeah, what we do probably is we support a customer where we build their server from the scratch. We maintain the server, we support them with any problems they are facing, and so on. We do the patching for them, we do the cloning for them, we make sure that the system is up to date.
That's security, bro.
All of that stuff.
That's security.
No.
It's technical. It's almost like system administration, but the fact that you're patching, what's the whole purpose of patching? The whole purpose of patching is to make sure that you reduce security vulnerabilities, right?
Yeah.
So already, everything that you just explained to me, there are security components that you've got to get creative, right? I mentioned this word resume drafting. You got to get creative and pull it out of your experience. And if I were you, sorry guys, I think there's a helicopter flying over. I don't know if you can hear it. If I were you, I would be selfish enough to say I'm only going to list everything that's security related. So patch management, number one. Right, that's definitely a huge one. There's other things that you can put on there as well. I'm sure if we had a good amount of conversation, but you got to get creative. And while you're there at work, if you have any opportunity, and I was telling all my current IT folks, if you have any opportunity to do anything that's security related, please volunteer. Have those discussions, have those conversations. Advise your leadership on different security things that they could be doing. Right. Guess what? Now you've collaborated, right? That's a key word that's supposed to be on your resume. Another part that I will encourage you, Good Luck, and we talked about this yesterday, we need to start thinking outside the box, right? It's not, you don't need someone with a multi-million-dollar company to put you on their W-2 in order to call yourself as having experience, right? I've never seen a resume where you have to put paid or unpaid, right? An experience is an experience, all right? So I say this to say, if you're someone that knows your stuff, okay, what are you working on, right? Do you have any ideas on things that you want to create or develop, right? Anything that's technical that you want to implement. Talk to people that are like-minded, put together a team, right? And say, hey guys, let's go ahead and take on this project. That's an experience, right? Freelance yourself, Fiverr.com, Upwork.com. Create a profile for yourself. If you know how to run Timmy, you know how to run a vulnerability scanner. If you can do that confidently and analyze it confidently, put your service out there. You're a freelancer. Put it for nominal cost, so people will hire you for it because you want the experience. You see what I'm saying, guys? So we've got to think outside the box. You don't need someone to give you a degree. You don't need someone to create an infrastructure for you with W-2 and benefits before you can start collecting your experience. Start collecting your experience today, right? And start building your way up. So good luck. Freelance yourself and start the counter today, right? And the job that you're doing right now, you don't have to make it up. I already hear some security, some things that apply to security. You just have to get creative enough to put that into your resume.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. No problem. I hope that helped. I know it probably sounds simple, but I hope it helped. But I do believe that that's the way.
Yeah, at least giving some green light. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Yeah, do it, man. Do it. You know, and not saying that you have it, I have it, right? The imposter syndrome is very rampant in a lot of us. I have it all the time myself, right? I just ignore it, right? Just flick it off. You know, we all feel like, oh no, we're not there yet. Just do it. And I think that's what Dominique was just saying earlier. Just do it. Just get out there. You learn it on the job, right? I mean, definitely prepare yourself. Don't get me wrong. Put in the work, right? Don't just go in there empty-handed, not having anything of value for the company, but put in the work and know what you're worth, right? And once you know that, you get in front of a company and say, hey, I got this experience and I got this value. Do you want it? Okay. So I do want everybody to keep that in mind as they kind of venture out. Okay. Good. Great questions, guys. Great questions. So I was hoping to ask a few more interview questions and kind of see how you guys kind of react to it. But doing a quick time check, it is 1:07. We're having some really, really good questions. I'm thinking maybe a part 2 might be needed right after this, as we kind of maybe talk more about just techniques and things to do to kind of land that interview. So you know, just stay tuned for that, guys. In the meantime, do want to remind you all, visit pjcourses.com. There's so many different things that you can learn. Make yourself technical when you're applying for ISSO job. I think one thing we've learned is you want to be technical, right? You want to learn security engineering. We have ethical hacking, career development, and I can't wait. I've been working on it. I'm trying to work on it a lot faster than I am currently. I know it's Sadiki on here. I think I saw him earlier. No, he's not on there. So I'm working on the manuscript for that. Cloud security is going to be amazing, guys. So all my technical folks, you guys are going to love it. It's going to teach you about Azure Cloud, security engineering. I want to make it like the FISMA course, where if you finish that course, you know your stuff to become a cloud security engineer. So I'm looking forward to releasing that program. But yeah, let's just keep supporting each other. If you don't have it, if you're not a member of our group page on Facebook, please join the group page, pjcourses.com/groups/PJ Join the group page because that's where we have a lot of great conversations. That's where we have a lot of our support systems. A lot of our folks are on there. So yeah, join the group page and just chat with us, hang out with us. And we have a group page on LinkedIn as well. So be sure to join that as well and just, you know, stay tuned. We're all over the place. We're on Twitter, all of that good stuff. All right, with that said, I'm going to open up the floor for any last minute, any more questions, comments, concerns from anyone? Okay.
I'd like to say thank you. I would like to say thank you very much, Paul. I really enjoyed this session.
Me too, man.
Very educative. Me
too, yeah. Likewise, and I appreciate you all, and just thank you all for your support and just the positive and kind words. You know, this is our community. I'm very proud of it. I love the fact that we're trying to be the best all the time, and we're just, you know, we're just doing our thing. So likewise, man. Thank you, Timmy. All right, everybody, enjoy your Saturday. I'm got a track star to go catch, and I will see y'all later. Okay, have a great day.